Hey folks, how's it going? I hope everybody's doing well and 2020 is off to a great start. For those of you who may have forgotten who I am, my name's Glenn Miller, and it's been about a year since I made my first video. It's been about 6 months since I made my last video. I started kind of watching everybody's 2020 questions, and it got me thinking about it, maybe a little bit nostalgic, and I decided to give you guys an update. And I'm not sure yet whether I'll be making videos on a regular basis. We'll see, but I did want to reconnect. I wanted to give, before I forget, Eric Weinender a shout out of the 61 subscribers I have or whatever. He was the one who continued to check in on me periodically, say hope you're okay and everything. And Eric, even though I didn't respond except I think one time, I really appreciate you doing that, and wish I had the people skills that you do sometimes. So what's been going on? Well, actually, not that long after the first video I made, I wound up hurting my back. I think it was late January. I slipped putting away Christmas decorations, and then pretty quickly after that slipped on the ice walking my dog. And from there, my back just never did quite recover, and in fact started getting worse and worse and worse. To the point where when I was making my last video, I was in pretty extreme pain and not doing a whole lot of anything other than taking drugs and sitting on heating pads and stuff like that, trying to come up with ways to distract myself and so on and so forth. Anybody who's ever had back problems knows that it's kind of debilitating. You wind up not being able to do anything at all and pretty much not enjoy anything at all. So that kind of ties right into records, and I wound up not listening to my stereo, to my records specifically, because records, as we all know, takes getting up every 20 minutes or so to flip a record over. The way I had mine set up, and actually how I have mine set up here now, has my turntable quite low, also my records pretty low, and it was unpleasant, to say the least, to deal with record management. So I switched over to streaming music from Tidal primarily. Didn't play CDs that much either, and to a large extent that kind of made me think that I really didn't have a place in the vinyl community. And that's still true, not because of the back, but because I'm not really a collector, as I've repeatedly said. And that's okay. I think I'm at a headspace now where I'll be able to deal with the fact that I can't keep up with you guys as far as frequency and quantity and so on. In general, my record following, my record enjoyment is going to be a little bit different now than it was before. I'm still very protective of my back, still having issues with it, and pretty much crate digging is out of the question for me in the foreseeable future anyway. As we know, most record stores have their crates on the floor on the bottom, below the real stuff that they're hoping to sell and so on. It's just kind of the dregs, the leftovers and so on. Even my Goodwill primarily has their records down below, and it's just not something I can do without putting myself in danger, and I'm not going to do that. So looking through the dollar bins and so on is not going to be happening. I do look through the ones up above. I haven't been going to record stores so much. Again, dealing with the turntable being low and records being low and stuff. But we actually wound up moving. In large response, it was my wife's response to my back problems. And so she decided that we needed to get a single floor house before I was not able to go upstairs at all. And so now we're in this new place, as you can see behind me. I think I'll take the camera and kind of do a tour here of what the new place, new setup looks like. But I've decided to make some changes even beyond what I'll be showing you now, where I'll have my records up at a proper height, and I'll have my turntable up. I've got a Pangea component stand coming in that I think is going to raise my turntable up quite a bit. And I haven't got it on order yet, but I've got some ideas as to how to get records up higher. For the time being, I'm just going to put them in the moving boxes that actually work much better for me than the Calyx IKEA stuff that everybody uses. I don't like having the records like this and just being able to see the spine and then having to flip through them and so on that way. I really prefer to have the records this way, kind of like most record stores have them in the bins, and then flip through them like this. And so that's part of what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to have boxes on top of those Calyx stands with my most listened to records and go that way, I think. And then I'll only periodically have to change them out rather than every time I want to play a record having to bend down and stuff like that. I've got some lists of records that I'm going to try to do here. The 2020 questions don't really make much sense for me to do this year because I have so few of them that I could really answer specifically in regards to records. But I'm going to make a couple top 10 type lists following this, and we'll see how it goes. And until then, y'all be good, happy digging, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.